Hey, Dolphins fans. What's up, Fin Nation? It's your boy here, buzzing with excitement because we've got some massive Miami Dolphins news that's got me pumped up like it's game day in Hard Rock Stadium. Imagine this. We're heading into a historic clash against the Washington Commanders, and the NFL just handed us a golden ticket that's making this matchup even sweeter. You know that feeling when everything starts aligning for our Fins? Well, strap in because the league suspended Washington's top defensive beast, Darren Payne, for one game after he threw a punch at Detroit's Amon-Ra St. Brown. This isn't just any penalty. It's a game-changer for our offense, especially with Tua slinging it like a champ lately. And get this, fresh update. Payne appealed the suspension, but it was upheld, meaning he's definitely sitting out our game in Madrid. That's huge. Folks, what do you think, Dolphins faithful? Does this suspension tip the scales in our favor big time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm dying to hear if you're as hyped as I am. Let's dive deeper into how this shakes up the Commanders' already shaky defense and what it means for our Miami Dolphins pushing for that upset vibe again. Picture the scene. It's the second quarter in Washington's blowout loss to the Lions, scores 20-3, and tensions are boiling over. Darren Payne, this 8-year vet with a Pro Bowl nod and ties to Tua from their Alabama days, loses his cool and clocks Amon-Ra St. Brown right in the helmet. Boom. Ejected on the spot for unsportsmanlike conduct, violating those key NFL rules against striking opponents. The replay caught it all, clear as day, and the league didn't hesitate. 1-game suspension without pay, costing Payne over $1 million based on his hefty salary. He'll be back November 17th, but that's after our showdown. Washington's defense, already ranked 30th in yards allowed per game, just got torched for 546 yards by Detroit. Without Payne, that's a gaping hole up front. How's this firing you up, fans? Imagine our run game exploiting that weakness. Tell me in the comments. Who's stepping up for the Dolphins to dominate the line? This Miami Dolphins news is electric. Let's keep the energy rolling. Now, let's talk about the Commanders' quarterback nightmare adding to our advantage. Jayden Daniels, their rookie sensation, is already sidelined with an elbow injury from Week 9 against Seattle. No fracture or ligament tear, so they didn't IR him, but he's out for our game. Marcus Mariota stepped in against Detroit and couldn't get them over 300 total yards. With Daniels getting re-examined during their bye-week post-Madrid, Washington's offense is limping. Pair that with no Payne anchoring the D-line. He's got 30 tackles, 1 sack, and 5 passes defensed this season. And suddenly, our Dolphins look poised to capitalize. This is the kind of break that turns 3 to 7 teams into statement makers. Dolphins squad, are you feeling the momentum? What's your prediction for Tua against this depleted crew? Share below and let's build that Fin energy. More Miami Dolphins updates coming. Stay tuned. Shift gears to our Fins' recent fire. That dominating 30-13 upset over Buffalo? Chef's kiss. Coming off a tough stretch, we built off the Atlanta win and flipped the script, holding Josh Allen in check while our offense clicked. Devon Achane? Absolute beast mode with 225 yards from scrimmage, second most in his career and 7th in Dolphins history. Brian Hartline still holds the record at 253 back in 2012, but Achane's now 6th and 7th on that all-time list, trailing legends like Ricky Williams. He's 4th in the league with 780 rushing yards and 3rd in yards per carry at 5.5. Plus, he's the 3rd player ever with at least 5 rushing and 3 receiving TDs in his first 3 seasons, joining Hall of Famers like Roger Craig. Fans, wasn't that Buffalo beatdown epic? Who was your MVP from that game? Comment now, let's celebrate these Miami Dolphins heroes. Suspense is building for Madrid. Personnel shakeups have been key to our resurgence. Dolphins diehards. After that embarrassing 31-6 loss in Cleveland, Coach McDaniel promised changes, and he's delivering. Started with Daniel Brunskill as a 6th O-lineman and more snaps for Ollie Gordon against Atlanta. Then Taj Washington and Greg Dulcich got in the mix versus Baltimore. Against Buffalo, it ramped up. Juju Brent started at corner in Rasul Douglas' absence, logging 52 snaps and allowing just 2 catches for 12 yards, plus a fumble recovery. When he dipped out briefly with injury, Ethan Bonner and Jason Marshall Jr. stepped in. Marshall gave up 73 yards, but overall our secondary held firm. What do you think of these tweaks, Fin fam? Is McDaniel's strategy the spark we needed? Hit the comments with your takes on these Miami Dolphins news bits. The plot thickens. Diving into more changes. Jalen Wright, after being scratched lately, got 10 snaps against Buffalo. More than Gordon's 3 as he nursed an ankle. Wright rushed 5 times for 17 yards, including an 18-yarder, while Achane owned 47 of 53 offensive plays. Smart rotations keeping legs fresh. Receiver Nick Westbrook-Akine saw his snaps drop to 25, the fewest since Tyreek Hill's injury in Week 4. As we went heavy with extra blockers, Brunskill at 18 snaps as that 6th lineman/tight end. Jalen Waddle led with 44, but no other wideout topped 25, emphasizing our ground and pound approach. Dolphins enthusiasts, loving this heavy package? How's it setting us up for Washington? Your opinions matter. Comment below on these strategic Miami Dolphins updates. Excitement's mounting. Rookie safety Dante Trader Jr. is emerging as a star, folks. 66 defensive snaps against Buffalo, a career high, and targeted just once for an incomplete. Secondary coach Brian Duker nailed it. We see him as a future starter. That's the youth injection our defense craves. Linebacker Willie Gay Jr. got 10 snaps, his second most this year, and notched his first sack as a Dolphin. Bradley Chubb was a monster with 10 pressures and a sack in 33 rushes. Pure dominance. PFF rated Achane, Waddle, Patrick Paul, Aaron Brewer, and Tua as our top offensive performers. Fin Nation, Trader's rise got you excited? Who's the breakout player for Madrid? Spill in the comments. These Miami Dolphins stories are gold. Hold on, more twists ahead. Cornerback Jack Jones balled out 2 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, and just 2 completions allowed for 12 yards. Our secondary's stepping up big time, turning potential weaknesses into strengths. That's the resilience of these Miami Dolphins. Achane's historic pace? He's etching his name in the books, folks. And with Washington's D reeling, 30th in yards allowed, no Payne, no Daniels, our run game could feast. Reports say their by-week re-exam for Daniels might bring more clarity, but for now, Mariota's at the helm. What say you, fans? Jones' performance a sign of things to come? Engage below with your Miami Dolphins hot takes. The suspense for Spain is real. Now the stage, Madrid, Spain, first ever regular season NFL game there, at Santiago Bernabéu Stadium. Kickoff Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Us versus them, both 3-7, but we're riding that Buffalo high. Historic vibes, international spotlight on our Fins. Hey, Washington's coming off a 44-22 drubbing by Detroit. It's your boy held under 300 yards with excitement because we've got some massive Miami Dolphins got shredded that's without pumped up like it's game day in Hard Rock Stadium. Who played with pain at Bama. We're heading into a historic clash against the Washington Commanders. Dolphins worldwide. And the NFL just handed us a golden global showdown that's making this match. What's your score prediction? You know that feeling when everything starts aligning for news go viral. Well, building to the climax because the league suspended Washington's top defensive beast, fresh off 30 points on Buffalo, one game after he threw a punch at Detroit's Monterey St. Brown. Payne's suspension, this isn't just any upheld after appeal. It's a game changer for our bowler clogging lanes, especially with Tua Daniels at like a champ lately, and Washington's vulnerabilities fresh are glaring. We've got momentum from personnel, but it was upheld off Brent's, meaning he's definitely sitting out our game in Madrid. Achane's elite stats scream breakouts. This could be the game Dolphins that sparks our turnaround. Does this suspension tip the scales in our favor big time? Feeling the international energy in the comments below. How do we exploit this? I'm dying to hear if your thoughts and comments fuel us. Let's dive Miami Dolphins into how this shakes up the Commanders' already shaky defense and what it means for our Miami Dolphins. Will our heavy packages overwhelm Washington's line? Picture the scene. With Brunskill bolstering protection. Second quarter in Washington's blowout loss to the Lions. Their 30th ranked D just allowed 500 boiling yards. Darren Payne smelled this 8-year vet, but hey, Pro Bowl NFL ties to Tua. Anything can happen in Madrid. Loses building off that Bills upset, Monterey, where changes like right snaps and Gay's sack showed depth. Ejected on the spot for unsportsmanlike conduct. What violating those key NFL rules against striking Share below on this Miami Dolphins caught it all. Clear as day calling, and the league wrapping the narrative. One game suspension without Daniel's injury, costing Payne over $1 million based on his hefty salary. For Madrid He'll be back November 17th. From Buffalo dominance to Spain's after our showdown. Our Finns Washington's defense stats already ranked 30th in yards allowed per game. Chubbs just got torched for 546 yards by Detroit. This suspension's a boon without Payne, upheld and all. A gaping hole up Washington's loss is our game. Firing you up? Passionate play from Jones? Imagine our run game exploiting that weakness. We're not just playing, we're making history. Who's stepping up for the Dolphins to dominate the line? What's one thing you're watching for? This Miami Dolphins comment is your Miami Dolphins passion. Let's keep the energy rolling. One more push. Now, final build-up. Let's talk about the Commanders' quarterback nightmare as we charge ahead. No Payne means freer runs, their rookie sensation is already sidelined with an elbow injury. Commanders by post-game might heal Daniels, but no fracture or ligament tear. 3 to 7 so they didn't IR him. Forget it, but he's out for reset time. Marcus Mariota stepped in against Detroit Washington, couldn't get them over 300 total yards. The storytelling's epic, with Daniels getting re-examined during their bye-week post-Madrid for victory. Washington's offense the hero in comments. Pair that with these Miami anchoring the D-line. Hits keep coming. He's got 30 climax tackles, alert, 1 sack, with everything and 5 passes defense. Madrid could be our turning point. And suddenly, Payne out, Daniels sideline, our change is clicking. This is the kind of break that turns 3 to 7 teams into statement makers. Defensive standouts like Brents and Jones. Are you feeling the momentum? But we need your prediction for Tua against this depleted crew. This game's not just football. Share below and let's build Dolphins that destiny abroad. More Miami Dolphins win incoming. Coming. Drop opinions below on this thrilling Miami Dolphins recent fire. Let's seal it. That dominating 30 to 13 amazing Dolphins over Buffalo. That's the scoop on how this coming NFL off ruling supercharges we built off the Atlanta win. And if you're as fired up as me, holding Josh Allen in check while our offense drop a comment with your game prediction and chain, and subscribe for more Miami Dolphins 225 yards true fan scrimmage. Share this with your crew. In his career and 7th. Let's spread Dolphins love worldwide. Brian Hartline still holds the record at 253 NFL ruling benefits Dolphins for game, but it changed Washington. The Miami Dolphins on that try to build off their trailing legends like Ricky Williams. Washington Commanders in the league with 780 rushing yards, 93rd in yards per carry. Celebrates after a play during the third quarter against the third player ever with at least 5 rushing and 3 receiving TDs. Peter Casey main images the Miami Dolphins will be looking to build off their dominating upset. That Buffalo beat down Sunday against a Washington Commanders team that already was going to be comment out quarterback celebrate Daniels, Miami Dolphins now heroes. Also will be missing suspense its top is building player. For Madrid. This comes with personnel the news that the NFL suspended Commanders defensive lineman Darren Payne without pay for one after game that for an embarrassing 31-6 loss in during Cleveland. The team's 44-22 loss against the Detroit and Lions he's delivering on Sunday. Started with Daniels will face the Commanders in Madrid on Sunday at 9:30 a.m. against Atlanta Eastern Time in the first ever regular season. Greg Dulcich got in the mix in a matchup of 3 to 7 against Buffalo per the NFL release. During the second quarter, Payne was disqualified for striking Detroit's Amon logging 52 snaps and a violation of Rule 12 for 12 yards, Article 1, plus a fumble which applies to any act when he dipped out briefly with generally understood Ethan Bonner and Jason Marshall Jr. including throwing a Marshall gave up 73 yards and Rule 12 overall Section 2 Article 14D. What do you think of these tweets? Striking, swinging at, or clubbing the head or neck of an opponent with the wrists? Hit the comments with your takes or hands. On these Miami Dolphins. Payne will be eligible to return to the Commanders' active roster diving Monday, into more changes. November 17th. Jalen Wright, following the team's November 16th game in Madrid against the Miami Dolphins. More than the incident involving Payne nursed an ankle, which was captured by replay 5 times for 17 yards, after Detroit scored including an 18-yarder to go up while a chain owned 47. Here is the play that led to the NFL smart rotation Commanders keeping Darren Payne one game. Receiver Nick Westbrook WR saw his snaps drop to 25. PIC fewest since Tyreek Hill's injury in Week 4 as we went heavy with extra blockers. Adam Schefter at 18 snaps as that 6th November 10th, 2025. Jalen Waddle led bargaining agreement, but no other wideout top 25. Any appeal will be heard and decided upon by either Derek Dolphins enthusiasts, Ramon Foster, or loving this heavy package. The hearing officers jointly appointed and compensated by the NFL your opinions and NFLPA to decide appeals of on-field strategic Miami Dolphins because the injury didn't involve a fracture or ligament damage. Rookie safety Dante Trader Jr. is emerging as a re-examined during Washington's 66 defensive which comes after the game against the Dolphins. A career high, more Miami Dolphins coverage. After the Dolphins coach were embarrassed 31-6 in Cleveland, we see him as a future starter. Coach Mike McDaniel suggested there would be personnel changes. Linebacker Willie Gay began with Daniel Brunskill's insertion as the second most offensive lineman and running back his first sack as a Dolphin. In playing time, Bradley Chubb was a monster with 10 pressures and a sack. The changes continued with the insertion of Rasavartaj Washington PFF rated Greg Dulcich, Waddle, Patrick Paul, Aaron Brewer in the 28-6 as our top offensive performers. And they continued with multiple changes. Traders Sunday 30-13 victory. Who's the breakout player for Madrid? Among them, spill in the comments these Miami Dolphins who had played just 10 snaps before Sunday. More started a cornerback in cornerback Jack Jones balled out and logged 52 snaps. 2 tackles for loss. He might have played all 468 and just 2 completions allowed for 12 yards. If not for an injury that briefly sidelined him in the second half before turning potential weaknesses Brent's into allowed strength. Just 2 of 5 That's targets the resilience to be caught of these Miami yards. Dolphins. He also recovered historic pace when Brent's etching his name in the books. Ethan Bonner and with Washington's D. Reeling, and Jason Marshall 30th in yards 18. Allowed. No Payne, no Daniels. Bonner allowed the only pass in his coverage area Reports to be caught there by weak re-exam for Daniels might bring more 35-yard touchdown. But for now, Marshall, Mariota's who also played some nickel corner, fans permitted 5 Jones completions and 7 sign of things to come, mostly in the fourth quarter. Below with your Miami Dolphins and a touchdown. The black small square after being a healthy scratch now of the previous 4 weeks. Madrid, Jalen Wright first ever regular season NFL more than Gordon's 3 snaps at Santiago and ran 5 times for 17 yards Sunday at 9:30 one of those runs Eastern gaining time. 18 yards. Us versus Gordon them, was working his way back from an ankle but injury. We're riding that Buffalo Devon Chain plays historic 7 of Miami's international spotlights on our fins. Black small square receiver Nick Westbrook-Akine, who had an important catch on a 3rd down, played by far his fewest snaps, 25. Since his snap count increased after Tyreek Hill's season-ending injury in Week 4. Aside from Jalen Waddle, 44 snaps, no Dolphins receiver played more than 25 of the team's 53 offensive snaps. Instead, Miami used more heavy packages with extra blockers. Brunskill played